Welcome everybody. Today I wanted to do a review and sort of share my Comfort Zone Industrial 7500 watt heater that I purchased last year. I got this in the spring and I bought it in the spring. It was on, they were doing clearancing on heaters, so I picked it up and I got it hung up in this fall, and I've been using it now for the last 3 months. And I wanted to use it for a while in lower temperatures, warmer temperatures, and I've been out in the garage doing a lot of projects, lots of hours with this heater so far. So now I feel I can give you guys an honest review. Now they had two heaters there, they're both Comfort Zone. There was one smaller than this one BTU wise. It had 3 settings, a low, medium, and high. It maxed out at 5,000 watt, and I think it was just around 17,000 BTU. It operated 208 to 240 volt, just like this one, but it would operate on a 30 amp circuit breaker. Now that was the one I was originally going to go with, but I decided to change my mind since they were on clearance and on sale. I decided to go with this one. This model I have is the CZ230ER, and it's a Comfort Zone 7500 watt max, and then it's got a low setting which is like 6250. So the low setting's even higher than the other one. Before I didn't really like that. I thought the settings were too off, but I've become to like it, and I'll share that. 25,600 BTU, but this one operates at right over 32 amps, so you do need a 40 amp circuit breaker to operate this, which I already had installed in here, so that was another reason I went with this. Now this model also has a digital display, and it comes with a little handy remote control. Before I didn't think I even needed the remote control. The remote control is awesome. I've used this, it's so nice because when I'm working on something on the other side of the garage, I can grab the remote. If I'm warm, I can turn the thermostat down. Now the remote control, I'll throw a picture of it on here. It's got a few different options on it. You can turn it on and off. You can change it from high to low, the mode, increase, decrease temperature. You can set the timer, and for some reason, I don't know why, but you can change it from Fahrenheit to Celsius. I don't know why you'd have to do that in the remote. You think that would be a hard setting, but they give you the option. But so far the remote, I've used it on the other side of the garage about 22 feet away, and it works fine and it works great. Now the garage that I'm heating, to share that, it's 22 by 24, but I do have 11-foot high ceilings. So that takes more space and more heat. So that's the other nice thing about having the larger heater. I'm right under the 540 square foot mark on the size of the garage, but with the ceilings, that sort of increases it. Now, I would like to tell you square feet of what these heaters will heat, but depending on your area zone of where you're at, there's a calculator for that and everything. It's really hard to say how many square feet these will average. I believe when I looked it up before, there was 2 different ones. The lower 5,000 watt one I've read on other websites, it says it will heat like 1,000 square feet. This heater 1,500. Other ones I've calculated 540 square feet for the smaller one, like 700 for this one. I'd say on the lower side. I mean, you can heat it, depends how much you want to run it. So for that, being electric, a lot of people think it's probably inefficient and everything. My garage is very well insulated, and I got to use this for the last couple months. And like I said, these last couple months have been sort of on the warm side here in Ohio, but I have been using this heater a lot of times in the days when it was in the low 20s. It heated it up fine. The lowest I turned this on, I think the garage was 38 degrees, and I had it on the high setting, which would be 7,500, and within 10 minutes it raised it up 12 degrees to 50. I put it to the low, which is what I usually leave it on, and it took a little longer, but within about half an hour, I achieved the 60-degree mark. So I usually keep my garage 58 to 62. That's comfortable when you're working. I have a thermostat mount on the other side of the garage. One thing I have noticed with this heater is if you have the heater set at, say, 78, it'll show 78 on the heater, but 78, it just kicked on, usually keeps the garage right around the 60, 62 mark. So the thermostat that it shows you on there isn't 100% accurate, but it's really close enough. So far I used this heater for a couple months. She didn't really notice anything with the electric bill. And I don't use it every day, but I've been using it 2 to 3 times a week for long periods, and I don't really think it consumes that much power. Now, Electric heater to leave it on all the time, I would probably not recommend that, but for occasional use and stuff like this, I like this heater because mounting it was easy, and I didn't have to worry about with a gas heater, running a gas line, plumbing all that, cutting a hole for the outlet and all that stuff. So for hanging a heater up if you want it in the workshop, I think this is a great option. Some of the other benefits of this heater are that it's quiet, forced air, it circulates the air, all that. Now, I do have other heaters that I use. I did do a review on a Dynaglow propane heater a few years back. I still have the Dynaglow heater, and I'm still gonna continue to use that. I got it sitting over here in the garage, and what I like about the propane heaters, I'm opening the door up and down a lot, taking the tractor out, plowing snow, I can bring it in. I can leave that heat up the garage to melt all the snow and ice off the tractor. I have this one as well. But the nice thing with the electric over the propane is if I was out here for long periods of time, like 8 hours or more, propane will eventually give off, you know, carbon monoxide. I have a detector, I've never had any issues with that, but it also puts out moisture. And it's more of a radiant heat. The one nice thing about this electric heater being forced air is when I turn it on, circulates the air around the garage, and it's getting the heat from up there pushed down a little better than the radiant. Now, I was doing some work on the garage door, some servicing, lubing up the springs and stuff last week when I had this on. The higher you get, of course, heat rises. It was a giant increase in temperature I noticed being on the ladder. So with that, I am going to be installing a ceiling fan out here, just a small fan to help circulate that hot air from the tall ceilings down. Let me grab the camera, show you the functions on this, and talk a little more about it. So here's the heater. This is how I'd hung it in the garage. I braced it with a 2x4. It's nothing fancy, but it works out quite well. It's got adjustable louvers. There are things on the side here where you can take this whole unit and move it down if you'd like. You can hardwire it. I bought a 5 or 6 foot range cord because I already had a 220 outlet, 40 amp in my garage. I was supposed to use it to run a welder until I got the shop built, but now I got electric back to shop. I'm going to be having electric back there to run a welder, so I figured I didn't need this anymore. Nice thing I like about running it to my 220 outlets, when I'm not using it, I unplug it so there's no power going to the heater. And it's not a big deal. This cord's definitely heavy enough. You have to make sure you get the right gauge, you know, to operate the BTU and the amperage of this. But for that, I think that's a 50 amp cord anyway, so it'll have no problems handling this. For the display, it has it on here, the digital. It's got on and off for your power, mode high and low, temperature increase, decrease, the timer, and Fahrenheit to Celsius. And then it's got a display here, and that tells me the temperature of what it says it's in here. And then that shows me it's set, then you can increase and decrease it. 68 is what I got it desired at, and give it a second, it says it's 66. Now, all the same functions are done with the remote control. The increase, decrease, like I said. Having the display screen on there is nice. I do like that. For the most part, like I said, heating this garage up, I haven't had any issues with this heater, you know, whatsoever. It is nice, and I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so that's my review of the CZ230ER Comfort Zone heater. Like I said, I could have went with the smaller one, and it was rated for about right at the square feet that I'm at, but I figured on them really, really cold days, it would be nice to have a little bit extra BTU, and I'm glad I did. Having the remote and the digital display, at first I was a little against it because digital's more thing to go wrong, but it is nice having, and the remote's a big plus. For quality and longevity, that's to be determined. So far, I'm very happy with it. Now, if I have problems down the road, I'll be sure to comment below to let you guys know. I think it's a great heater for what I'm using it for, and I think it works good. I will put a link in the description below if any of you are looking to purchase one of these. If you'd like to, I'll put a link in there for ordering information if you would like to get one. I hope this video was informational, and I like doing videos like this to show everyone products that I'm buying if they're interested themselves. As always, thanks for watching.